Crypto winter is here. There is plenty of articles talking about it, but we're going to go over a few of them. And also what happened in the SEC Ripple appeal, all next. Yes, I'm freezing. It's cold. Yeah, winter's here. Anyone out there? Anyone? Huh? That's exactly what happens in crypto when there is no hype behind it. And we're going to show you today there is no hype behind it whatsoever. We saw prices drop today about an hour and a half ago. Bitcoin went all the way down to 25.4, 25.2, and now has bounced off the bottom pretty much at 25.7. But either way, it's taken the market down. We saw XRP go under 50 cents. ETH is struggling to stay above 1,600. And the whole market is just struggling right now. There is nothing to keep it going. Retail, a lot is happening out there. And I'll get into it in a minute. Welcome to OG Crypto. Hi, everyone. My name is Troy, and every day we go over the latest news in cryptocurrencies as well as blockchain technology and non-fungible tokens. Now, before we jump into it, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. Boom, boom. I really would help to get this channel up and going. I'm going to give you the best 5 to 10 minutes daily in this space. Now, what has been happening out there? Before I jump into John Deaton's tweet here about what happened in the SEC Ripple case today, I'm going to tell you right now, we're in a crypto winter, and it's going to become colder and colder. If you're listening to me on a regular basis, you've heard me say that I expect there to be a huge black swan event in this industry, actually probably in the world, taking stocks down, but more importantly, taking the crypto asset world down. Why crypto so much? Because it's speculation. Very few coins are actually being utilized right now as utility tokens and for real world transactions. Almost everything else is speculation, or we're building whatever out. Okay, right now, building today is just like Netscape telling me they're building out a browser, right? Doesn't matter. They'll get run over. But what's happening is the internet itself is what really took off 25 years ago. And now, because the cash is not coming in, we're quantitative tightening, right? As well as we're seeing inflation numbers, which I don't believe anything the government's coming out with. We're seeing unemployment going down, unemployment going up, I should say. We're seeing all these things. Retail's not around. You know, a lot of businesses, a lot of companies, especially if you look at the reports, they're reporting average earnings. Well, because they've lowered their earnings so much that they don't have to, they're not trying to beat big numbers. They're just trying to get over, slightly over what they projected of reduced earnings. And that's what we're happening right here. They don't have the excess cash to throw on risky assets. Crypto is the riskiest asset. Stock market is, bond market absolutely isn't, right? But this is a very risky asset, and because of that, that's what's happening. So let's jump right into it. Okay, so today was the last day that Ripple had to actually respond to SEC's appeal. Now, SEC wasn't appealing that whether XRP was a security. SEC was appealing, saying that they feel that other sales by Ripple were going to be considered more securities, not the ones that were on exchanges so much, but the other ones. And so they want a second circuit. They want to go above the circuit that Judge Torres is on, and so they want to ask, but they just can't go appeal it above it. They have to ask her, and they have to give her a new argument. That's the issue the whole time. You can't keep going over the same argument, especially when you look at the Howey. When the SEC said, I'm going to look at Howey, that's all they said. Well, when she made her judgment, she went directly off the Howey prongs. She didn't go off this whole Hemin decentralization. She didn't go off of, well, this over here or that over there. No, she went by the law. 1940s law, went through Supreme Court, was stamped and approved by the Supreme Court. She went right over case law. And that's what's really about, Ripple winning this case, is because they really are boxed themselves in completely. They made a poor argument for Howey. you look at Ripple made a better argument, in fact, the best argument, and only those sales at the very beginning, those 100 sales, it's actually ridiculous, those 100 flyers that went out, that's the only way that SEC won anything out of this. And that actually can be argued. What I really feel is going to happen here is that we're going to go back and forth. Now I think in 2 weeks from now, the SEC can come back and say, hey, whatever Ripple said, F them, we're going to go ahead and we want you to go ahead and look at this. And then she's going to take 2 more months and then figure out she's going to write up something saying why, and this is in my opinion, why you do not get the right to appeal it, because we did stick to the Howey prongs and we did stick to the law. We didn't go off to this Bill Hemman, fantasy decentralization, idea. Didn't do any of that. That's all, because you cannot connect that right back to Howey and the actual law. So what Ripple did today is come out and say, well, there's no new argument. You already ruled on it. There's nothing else to discuss, right? They're not giving you another compelling argument. So that's what Ripple did. John Deaton, I'll just go ahead and read this real quick. Give John Deaton a shout, man. I met him, last week at XDC Foundation, the XDC conference. Oh my gosh, guy's on fire. Had a personal conversation with him. He's a great guy. There's 76,000, I think he said, whiskeys that I think he should get, because he's really saved all of our XRP asses collectively. Says, as expected, Ripple demonstrated that the interlocutory appeal here is simply not warranted. The SEC has maintained that Howey is a fact-specifically inquiry, and for the interlocutory appeal to be warranted, the Second Circuit should have to review extensive factual record. Footnote 2 destroys the SEC's argument on this matter. I don't think it's going anywhere. I think this is just going to be a prolonged no. It's going to be no for about 3 or 4 months. Then we're going to go to then the trial is going to be in the second quarter of 2024. I think before then you have to see some type of discussions of a settlement. And I know it's going to be argued, but if Ripple can get on the stand Bill Hemman or Jay Clayton, it's going to be ugly. I mean, the facts are the facts. They met with those guys. They didn't say it was a security. There's the Hemman emails. They show that XRP, they talked about it, was not a security. There's other emails that show that within the SEC wall said XRP is not a security. And of course, Brad Garlinghouse had met with the SEC, previous SEC regimes, and they all said it wasn't a security. The FTC said it wasn't security. CINFIN, the Department of Justice, said it wasn't security. Guys, there's just so much evidence. It looks stupid when they're going to go argue saying that Brad Garlinghouse and Larson walked up and said they frivolously sold XRP as recklessly sold it, and it doesn't make any sense. When they went to all the U.S. commissioners, all the heads of these departments, and they asked them this, they met with them, and they said it wasn't. So it's already a slam dunk. They're going to win that case. And so there's no, again, and then if you want to go, the SEC wants an appeal beyond that, meaning now we're going to go and say, hey, Judge Torres, you're just full of crap. Well, after that trial ends, then they can go to the Second Circuit. Guys, we're in 2025 easily. And if really Ripple wants to prolong this, we're in 2026. Okay, just prolong it like the SEC did with all of their, all their issues that they had going over filing the lawsuit in the first place. All right, so I thought it was kind of funny. Here's the joke of the day. U.S. Bitcoiner moves to El Salvador in anticipation of Bitcoin City. Talk about a failed attempt to try to get Bitcoin out in the world. Bitcoin City's been a mess. Bitcoin in El Salvador has been a complete mess. They're still underwater. Anyone that bought, in 2021, all hyped up. The president, God bless him, said, hey, we want to go buy Bitcoin. We want to give everyone in the country Bitcoin to trade. And then without thinking, he didn't test it. because the Lightning Network is garbage. It was complete garbage. It has spillage, meaning that if you send one Bitcoin, you don't even get one Bitcoin back because it just disappears in the 2 or 3 hours it takes to move the Bitcoin. It just doesn't make any sense. It was never meant as a currency to be traded around the world. Yeah, can I send it to a wallet to another wallet? Yes, but that's two people that understand crypto, and that's 1% of the 1 to 2% of the entire world. The other 98% think Bitcoin is garbage, guys. Why? Why do they think that? Because all the negativity that keeps coming out in the press has nothing to do with, and a lot of them actually lost money because of the pump and dumps that were happening with Bitcoin, the most manipulated asset in the world. All right, shout out to Cypress Manikor. I've been following him for a while. This guy's been really cool. He has a good YouTube channel, solid YouTube channel. He is someone that really, if you want to do deep dives on Ripple and where are they in being infected across the world and all the different companies, well, he does deep dives and he connects dots. I definitely give that guy a shout out. But here it is. It says, researchers came across Ripple ad spotted at metro station in Dubai. This is today. Wow, check that out, Ripple. Crypto means business. Guys, we're seeing that Ripple is pushing the adoption to the mainstream. It's not Bitcoin's name up there. It's surely not Ethereum's name up there. It is Ripple. And they're gaining market across the world because they're advertising it. They're putting it out there. They're not putting it on news channels that people don't watch. That's what Bitcoin is on. This is in subways. It's in a subway in Washington, D.C. right now on Union Avenue. Ripple is making their statement across the world, and we continue to see it. All right, and how do we know that, the crypto market winner? Well, NFTs are just in the dumps. And in fact, an article came out a couple of days ago saying that Ethereum gas fees are at their lowest in, 9 months? Well, why? Because what is Ethereum's transactions are? What are Bitcoin transactions are? They're all these little cute animal pictures. Once you take that off their network, then all of a sudden, what real utility world do they disrupt? What $1 trillion, let me ask this question, what $1 trillion industry does Ethereum disrupt? Bueller? Nothing. They don't disrupt it. What is Bitcoin disrupting? They were first mover advantage. They were able to buy, trade, and sell. Again, if you understood how to deal with a wallet from one wallet to the next wallet, okay, then you can actually trade Bitcoin. Well, it was used for a lot of bad things according to the US government, but then and I'll say this, it was used for good things as well. But it was a way to transact without having a central government, a central bank being involved and even knowing about it. And the IRS or a taxation of any country knowing about it as well. And because of that, it gained its popularity amongst people that did a little bit more shadier stuff than most. I'm going to keep saying it. I can't go buy right now. I can't go buy at Starbucks a cup of coffee with Bitcoin. Can't do it. So before any of you maxis out there go, oh, it's being adopted everywhere. Yeah, that's a good story. Okay. I don't like stories. I want to see facts. I want to see absolute facts. Don't tell me what the Lightning Network's doing. Because Lightning Network's sending it from one crypto wallet, one crypto person to another crypto person. It's not getting adopted. It's not disrupting $1 trillion industries. If you don't believe me, go show me a $1 trillion industry. It's actually affecting, and don't say the banking system. Do not insult yourself and say that. Well, guys, thank you very much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. There's a lot going on in crypto on a daily basis. We're going to have a 3-day weekend here in the United States. So you guys take care, have fun, and I will see you on Tuesday.